Liang was a highly intelligent military tactician who lived in the famous Three Kingdoms period of 3rd century China. Zhuge, who went by his courtesy name of Kongming, was the man of that period. His tactics on the battlefield were unparalleled and his wisdom was unmatched. He helped his king win several battles during that period by foreseeing the tactics of the enemy miles ahead. He was not just a step, but always several steps ahead of his enemies. His IQ level could put Einstein to shame, and his manners and fashion sense could fumble any Kardashians today. In this unorthodox isekai, Kongming finds himself reincarnated in modern Japan, 1,800 years in the future after he died in 3rd century China. Kongming opens his eyes in a Tokyo alleyway. As he walks out, he is overwhelmed by the huge crowd all gathered on the streets. The people around him are wearing all kinds of weird costumes as it's Halloween at the moment. He finds the loud music and flashy lights demonic and exclaims,
"This infernal place must be hell!"
A drunk stranger notices Kongming in the crowd. He walks up to him with his friends and praises him for cosplaying the character of Kongming so well. The duo is drunk out of their wits and forces Kongming to chug down a bottle of tequila. Kongming believes that the two strangers are demons of hell who are making him go through hell's punishment. The duo then takes him to a club called the BB Lounge. A drunk Kongming follows them, hoping to face his next punishment. The music inside the club is even louder, filling Kongming with displeasure. He bears with it as he thinks making him listen to loud demonic music was a punishment of hell too. Eiko Tsukimi, a girl who works in the club, takes the stage. She starts singing very disgustfully, mesmerizing Kongming and transporting him to a trance. He is touched by her singing, and later after her performance, he decides to confront her. Addressing her as a songstress of hell, he praises her for her singing talent. He says, "You look like an ugly witch in this hell, but your song touched the 207th bone in my body." Eiko gladly receives the compliment from a stranger. The demon duo that brought him to the club proceeds to make him drink more hell drinks. Kongming says, "F it, bring it on," and chugs down all of it, considering it to be the hot leak from the demon's girls. He drinks till he passes out in the street outside. After her shift ends, Eiko walks out of the club. She finds Kongming lying on the street, passed out cold. Initially, she tries to wake him up, but when he doesn't wake up, she takes him to her apartment. Kongming wakes up to find himself in Eiko's apartment and checks his carrot's safety. Eiko tells him that since he didn't have any identification card with him, she was unable to leave him at his place and brought him to her apartment. Since he's awake now, she asks him to
Get out of here, man!
To this, he explains that his home is far away and is here in hell to face punishment for his actions. She tells him that he is in Tokyo, Japan, and not in hell, and that it's currently 21st century. He realizes that he is in fact not in hell but has been transported to a different era in a different country instead. He is surprised to learn about all the modern inventions and is intrigued to learn how to use them. He questions Eiko about everything present in her apartment, from her computer to her smartphone. He is especially intrigued by the amazing device and asks her to teach him everything about the smartphone. In the next minute, he ascends over the techverse and creates his Instagram account. Although Eiko is still susceptible to his identity of being Kongming from the 3rd century, she still decides to teach him everything for hours. Having an IQ of 100 million plus, he gulps down every piece of information in a flash. He also shows great interest in the music of the current times, exploring different genres of his own. Eiko sings another disgusting song for him and he can't help but tear up, realizing the fact that he is a long way from home. He is moved by her singing again, and looking outside the window, he remembers his life, which feels so distant now. Eiko also helps him secure a job in the club she works at. The owner of the club, Kobayashi, is a history nerd who loves the history of the Three Kingdoms. He is impressed by Kongming's appearance and his knowledge of the Three Kingdoms. He thinks him as a stupid joker, but hires him just because he thinks it'd be fun having a guy cosplaying as Kongming around. Kongming absolutely slays on his first day at work. He used his hands faster than me on a Vaseline night and elegantly delivers orders with ninja precision, surprising Eiko. The owner asks Eiko to get on the stage to sing, and Kongming's 207th bone is again touched by her performance. On the way home, Kongming praises her performance. He also thanks her for helping him get a job. Eiko shares her story of how she almost killed herself. As a teenager, she was about to hug a running train when Kobayashi grabbed her hand and pulled her back. He took her to his club where an American singer, Maria Diesel, was performing. Watching her perform on stage touched her 207th bone too, and at that moment she knew what she wanted to be in her life, a singer. But she is rejected from every audition she appears for, and after so many years of struggle, she thinks it's time to give up on her dreams of becoming a singer. To this, Kongming cheers her up by praising her singing. He tells her that though he has heard her sing only thrice, his 207th bone was touched and satisfied all 3 times. He believes that she has the talent to make it big and he will help her in achieving her dream. He further adds that he will gladly accept her as her master if she allows him to be his tactician. Eiko is overwhelmed by his enthusiasm. Kongming and the owner are sitting for a game of checkers. They are discussing the prospect of Kongming choosing to be Eiko's manager. He hands Kongming 2 tickets to a concert that evening. Kobayashi explains that it's quite hard to become popular in the competitive music industry. Even though Eiko has the talent to reach the top, she has a long way to go. They also discuss a war strategy called the Stone Sentinel Maze. It was developed by Kongming himself once during a war. Kongming explains to Kobayashi how one can take advantage by understanding a certain terrain or surroundings. Both the gentlemen laugh together diplomatically after the game, like 2 politicians sitting across a roundtable conference getting ready to start a Cold War. Kongming takes Eiko to the concert in the evening. The artist performing on the stage goes by the name Mia. She is a popular singer in the club scene and is known for his energetic performances and her juicy plots. Eiko is delighted to see her performing live on stage. Kongming analyzes every little detail of her performance. He points out that the tempo of the song Mia is singing is slower than the one performed by the previous artist. He follows her performance as the tempo gradually starts to increase and she starts dancing too. He deduces that the rise in tempo and dancing is for retaining the attention of the audience and making them believe she's doing a great job. Mia put up a good show, but Kongming believes that she lacked the talent Eiko has. Though in case of Melon Farm, Mia wins clearly. Kongming takes Eiko to meet Mia backstage. Mia's manager is surprised to see a Chinese Snoop Dogg dressed like an ancient Joker. Kongming expresses that he loved Mia's performance and is a big fan of her. Eiko chimes in too. Mia comes to the door to meet the duo. She too is surprised at Kongming's appearance. Eiko introduced herself as a rookie singer, showing her Instagram profile. Seeing the negligible number of followers Eiko had, Mia thinks of a devious plan. She promises to give her a chance to perform in the next concert at Club Warp. She is planning to use Eiko, a rather unknown artist, as a scapegoat to fill her concert with the audience. She purposefully placed Eiko in the concert room next to hers at the same time slot. Though Eiko considers this as an opportunity, Kongming and the owner realize that it was nothing but a dirty plan hatched by Mia. She was hoping to eliminate any competition by placing an unknown singer like Eiko in her time slot. But Kongming had other plans for the show. He carefully studied the floor map of the Club Warp and devised a brilliant plan to fill the room with more people. On the evening of Eiko's performance, initially, only a few people showed up as most of the crowd was attracted to Mia's performance, or more likely her jumpy plots. But gradually, the room started to fill with more people and soon the whole space was packed with people. The owner is surprised to witness the crowd and asks Kongming how he was able to pull the crowd to Eiko's stage. Kongming discloses his strategy of holding the people in that room. Referring to the Stone Sentinel Maze strategy they discussed earlier, he named this new strategy the Modern Era Stone Sentinel Maze strategy. He understood the terrain and made changes to reap benefits. In this case, the stage room is the terrain and filling in the space is the reaped benefits. To achieve this, he first lured most of the initial people to Aiko's stage by giving out free hell drinks. He had placed 2 identical guards and a Christmas tree in strategic locations inside the room to prevent people from exiting the room. If someone tried to leave the room, they always ended up at the washroom because of the misdirection. And to add to the illusion, he let a light layer of artificial smoke fill the room, but eventually it was Aiko's brilliant performance that made the crowd stay in the room. Kobayashi is stunned by this. He was starting to believe that the person standing in front of him might actually be the real Kongming and not just the Chinese Snoop Dogg. After the successful event, Aiko gained new followers every minute and she soon crossed 8,000 followers. She's quite happy with this, but Kongming tells her that 8,000 is nothing compared to the huge number of followers she'll gain in the future. After the successful event, Aiko gained new followers every minute and she soon crossed 8,000 followers. She's quite happy with this, but Kongming tells her that 8,000 is nothing compared to the huge number of followers she'll gain in the future. He assures her that he will tear heaven and earth apart just to fulfill his master's dreams. Kongming arranges another gig for Aiko. This time, she has to perform in a live music festival. The opportunity is indeed a big one. When asked about how he managed to get her spot, he showed the video he sent the organizers. It was captured during her previous show and edited sleekly by one of Aiko's diehard fans. In exchange, Kongming gave the fan a picture of Aiko's private naughty folder. Aiko heads to the music festival with Kongming and the owner. As she is a rookie, she is given a stage located at the farthest corner of the ground. The organizers are basically telling rookies to f*** off by this. Seeing the deserted location of the stage, Aiko is disheartened. However, Kongming cheered her up and told her that he has a strategy to overcome this situation too. By now, I firmly believe he can find a strategy for me to find a hot waifu for myself too. Hit that like button to Isekai Kongming once more and secure my ultimate waifu. On the stage next to her, a relatively famous band called Jet Jackets was to be performing. Before the concert, the frontman of the Jet Jackets come to check on Aiko. He greets Kongming and Kobayashi, who are fixing a light on the tree next to Aiko's stage. Kongming introduces himself as Aiko's manager, and while they are having a conversation, Kobayashi announces that their equipment is not working. The frontman returns to his stage. He tells his bandmates about Aiko's equipment failure. They have another big event the next day, so they decide to take it easy for the evening. His voice easily gets sore and thus he wanted to keep his vocal condition healthy for the next day. They chose to play their easier songs in front of the crowd gathered at their stage, clearly underestimating Aiko. But they didn't realize it was simply a part of Kongming's strategy. He calls this strategy creating something from nothing. It was Kongming who asked Kobayashi to announce that their equipment wasn't working, even though it was perfectly fine. When the Jet Jackets are about to reach their final performance of the evening, Kongming directs everyone to start the show. Aiko starts singing and the light on the tree is lit. The loud music and the lighting initially ruined the mood of the crowd gathered around the Jet Jacket stage. But soon, Aiko's beautiful singing pulls the audience to her stage. The Jet Jackets gets furious and head out to chop off Kongming's hanging little Johnny for using unfair means. They realize that the slick played them dirty. The 3 band members come to confront Kongming. He offers them drinks, which they declined. He then walks them away from the stage and takes out a special serum he prepared for his enemy's little Johnny centuries ago, known for preventing sore throat. Initially, they are skeptical about the little Johnny serum, but when all the members get instant results, they are delighted. Kongming further claims to be their fan and asks them to sign on their band t-shirt. This gesture from Kongming wins them over and they leave with the little Johnny serum he gave them. Aiko's performance was a hit. This helped her grab the attention of the main organizer of the festival. After the performance, Mr. Kondo, a leading music event organizer, comes to meet Aiko himself. He exclaims that he loved her performance and that attracting such a big crowd on that small stage has never been done before. He wants to give her another chance to perform at a big stage. He puts forward two options to choose from. She can either choose to perform at a smaller event or at the biggest music festival in Japan, Summer Sonia. But the offer comes with a catch. If she chooses to perform at the Summer Sonia Festival, she'd have to take part in the 100,000 likes event and win it. The 100,000 likes event is infamous for ruining the careers of many singers, and only one person has ever reached the goal so far. It was indeed a tough challenge to accept. But despite Kobayashi's warning, Kangming prompts Eiko to accept the challenge. Mr. Kondo is impressed by her confidence and leaves the place, hoping to see her perform at the coming Summer Sonia event. Kangming assures Eiko that he's committed to providing all the support he can. When Kobayashi inquires about their ambitious goal of reaching 100,000 likes, Eiko confidently relies on Kangming's creativity, believing he'll come up with a solution. Kangming, however, acknowledges the challenge ahead and hints at the obstacles they face, gazing at their current surroundings. Kangming is trying hard to devise a plan. Kangming announces that they need additional assistance and suggests adding a rapper to their team. The following day, Kangming mysteriously disappears, causing some concern. Eventually, the bartender informs Eiko that Kangming is outside, making plans for a party. As Eiko heads home, she decides to focus on her own efforts while Kangming enjoys his social activities. Days pass with Eiko dedicating herself to practicing her songs and balancing her work life, while Kangming continues to party with various people. Curious about his activities, Eiko joins him at the BB club on her day off and finds him immersed in a mix of music. Nervously, she asks Kangming what he does on his days off. Kangming expresses his desire to go clubbing and invites Eiko, who reluctantly agrees. At the club, Kangming easily connects with the partygoers, leaving Eiko feeling irritated. Later, at a restaurant, Kangming reveals that he believes they're nearing their 100,000 likes goal. To Eiko's surprise, she realizes that Kangming's partying was part of their strategy to gain more likes. Eiko suggests aiming for the Summer Sonia Festival but fears it might be too ambitious. Kangming encourages her to have confidence and shares her love for music. Eiko passes her earphones to Kangming and asks him to listen to a new song she's created. Kangming's 207th bone was again touched and satisfied. Kabe Taijin, a once famous rapper and also three-time DRB champion known for his fierce rap battles, roams the streets looking lost in his thoughts. He gets into a confrontation with a stranger who recognizes him as the former renowned rapper. When asked about his recent activities, Kabe dismisses the inquiry, leading to offense from the stranger. As tension escalates, a third person intervenes and kicks the stranger. To their surprise, they look up to see the rapper Sekitoba Kung Fu. Sekitoba challenges Kabe to a rap battle, but Kabe declines. He states that he no longer participates in rap battles. Sekitoba begins rapping at Kabe, who pleads with him to stop. In a flashback, Kabe remembers his last rap battle where he fainted before returning to the present. He was diagnosed with stomach ulcer. Sekitoba persists in urging a face-off, causing Kabe to shout that he has to quit and runs away. Back at his home, Kabe collects his belongings and heads to the laundromat. There, he encounters a man sitting in the room. Initially trying to ignore him, Kabe notices the distinctive feathered fan belonging to Kangming. Kangming attempts to engage Kabe in conversation and offers to reignite his passion for rapping through a deal. Kangming invites Kabe to a rap battle event at the BB Club. He proposes that if Kabe wins, he should rap alongside the singer at the event and join their team, but if he loses, he will grant him one wish. In response, Kabe takes his clothes and leaves the laundromat. Kabe Taijin arrives at the BB Lounge just as the rap battle competition is in full swing. He takes a seat at the bar and orders a drink. Some of the contestants recognize him and ask, "Is this the guy who suffered from diarrhea on stage?" Kobayashi then declares the winner of the previous rap battles and calls for a break. During the break, Eiko takes the stage to perform a nostalgic song from the past.
You got better than you want.
To Kabe Taijin's astonishment, the song she sings turns out to be Find the Way, a song he used to like listening to during his high school years. He begins to recall the past when he is still a student. In his mind, he goes back to his past. When two girls from his class asked what he was listening to, he got nervous. Overthinking the situation, he says, "Yamete kudasai!" and they laughed. Noob. He felt useless. Later, he heard Sasaki, another classmate, being bullied. He was unable to stop the bullies, but he recorded the incident on his phone, hoping that it might be useful. After school, he bumped into Sasaki again. He was with some tough-looking guys who looked like bullies. He got ready to record trouble, but was surprised when he saw Sasaki hanging out with them frankly and not beating his ass off. The next day, he asked Sasaki about it, and it turned out that they were meeting up for a rap session. Sasaki introduced Kabe to rap by lending him a CD of Sekitoba Kung Fu. Kabe got into rap and saw it as a way to express himself, which he couldn't do before. He joined rap gatherings and later even took part in rap battles in full Eminem's 8 Mile fashion. Kabe snaps out of his daydream with tears in his eyes. As Eiko's song ends, Kobayashi unexpectedly introduces him and spotlights shine on him.
He has 3 straight DRB titles! Kabe Taijin!
He challenges Kabe by boasting about his wit and provoking Kabe to accept the challenge. He's like, "Drag your ass on the stage, little guy." As they prepare for the rap battle, Eiko wonders how the winner will be chosen. Sekitoba Kung Fu enters the scene out of nowhere and explains the rules to her. He must have used a stealth Kung Fu technique. The rap battle starts with the DJ dropping the beats. Kabe begins rapping confidently. He claims he'll win with style and won't lose to a rookie like Kongming. He mocks Kongming for making Three Kingdoms references all the time and asks him to go back to that period and find a real job. Kongming responds to Kabe by saying that if he wants him to go back to that period, he'd need a time machine. Kongming claims he's won many battles of wit, suggesting Kabe lacks the courage and spirit for this battle. He challenges Kabe to prepare for real battles or leave the stage if he's not up to it. Kongming's lines get mixed reactions, with some disapproval due to the inconsistent rhyme scheme. But Eiko continues to cheer him on. In the second round of the rap battle, Kabe responds by dismissing Kongming's talk about battles and willpower, emphasizing that only his freestyling passion matters. He reminds Kongming that he is a 3-time DRB champion and can easily defeat him, pointing out the gap in their technique. Eiko expresses concern that Kongming is not only battling Kabe but also the crowd, who are favoring him. Kongming responds by criticizing Kabe for turning his back on the stage, implying a lack of resolve. He invokes the art of war, mentioning how saints, sages, and the wise learn from different sources, distinguishing success from failure. Kongming argues that Kabe's reliance on passion alone led to him drowning in his emotions, concluding that the Kabe process has significant flaws. The crowd notices Kongming starting to rhyme with the beat, and the sentiment begins to shift in his favor. Kabe surely rhymes like Eminem, but Kongming backfires at him like Tupac. After another round and 2 extra rounds, both the rappers were applauded by the crowd. Kongming prompts Kobayashi to declare Kabe the winner and end the contest. After the contest, they meet at the office. Eiko quietly asks Kongming if their failure meant they couldn't recruit Kabe. Kongming replies that there is nothing more he could do. He then asks Kabe what his wish is. Kabe asks for Kongming's plot hole, but quickly clarifies that he already got his wish, that is to return to the stage. Kongming praises him for his newfound determination, but it is revealed that it was all part of Kongming's plan. Kongming, along with Eiko's #1 fan, had been visiting clubs across Shibuya to gather information about Kabe, tracing a song from his past. He also had the bartender add stomach medicine to Kabe's cocktail to ease his ulcer. Kongming pretended to be unaware and once again invited Kabe to join them in their mission for world peace through Eiko's music, to which Kabe agreed. With Kabe Taijin on board, BB Lounge becomes even livelier. Kongming recognizes the need for a strategic boost to help Eiko garner the 100,000 likes required to win the challenge. During a meeting for the 100,000 likes project, Kongming briefs Kobayashi, Eiko, and Kabe. He informs them that they have just 20 days left until the event's deadline. He shares that many artists have stepped up their efforts to gain more likes, highlighting the girl group Azalea as their prime competitor due to their strong management team and pointy plus of the members. Kongming emphasizes that without taking action, they won't make it to the end. Kobayashi inquires about Kongming's strategy regarding Azalea, and Kongming reveals his plan to make a move on them 3 days before the deadline, which he refers to as X Day. Kongming also mentions to Kabe that a showdown with Sekitoba is on the horizon and stresses that their success in achieving the 100,000 likes hinges on Eiko singing and a specific song. To illustrate, Kongming plays the song Eiko recently shared with him, causing Eiko to express concern as it's only a demo. Kongming reassures her, stating that everything will work out and mentions that he's arranged a studio with an audio arranger for her to record the song. In response, Kabe and Eiko rush off to prepare for their roles in the project. Before heading to her studio session, Kongming hands Eiko 3 bags. He instructs her to open them in sequence whenever she feels nervous. On her way to the studio, Eiko discovers 3 items in the bag: instructions to buy pudding, a public road usage permit, and a ticket for the observation deck. She arrives at the studio and meets Steve Kidd, an international beat artist who informs her of a deal he made with Kongming. If Eiko can create a song he likes, there will be no charge, but if she can't, he'll make Kongming his tactician. Kidd notices the pudding she bought and asks if he can have it, to which she happily agrees. After their snack, they enter the recording booth, and the kid instructs Eiko to sing a song. Following her performance, Kidd compliments her but tells Eiko that she's missing her voice and to collaborate further, she must find it first. Eiko is disappointed to hear this. She embarks on a journey to discover her own unique voice. Eiko takes a nighttime stroll through the city, remembering the public road usage permit. While passing by street performers, she's captivated by a girl's voice and watches as the police interrupt her for lacking a permit. Eavesdropping, Eiko pretends to know the girl, claiming she has the permit and apologizing for her lateness. The police leave and the girl invites Eiko to perform together. Eiko accepts and they start playing music. After their performance, Eiko suggests performing again tomorrow and the girl introduces herself as Nanami. Eiko and Nanami continue to perform on the streets. The next day, Nanami brings her thick bass guitar. Eiko still struggles to find her own voice. She feels like she's merely imitating other singers and lacking uniqueness. In the club, Eiko sings her new song in front of Kabe. Kabe casually freestyles with the song. They both sound great together, but they realize they are still missing something. Something strikes his mind and he leaves the club in a rush. Kongming is determined to help Eiko. He offers her some guidance on completing the lyrics of her song and finding her own voice. He encourages her to draw from her personal experiences and emotions, urging her not to shy away from being her authentic self. Eiko wholeheartedly embraces Kongming's advice. Nanami and Eiko form a close bond after performing on the streets for days. They decide to go to a public bathhouse together one day after their street performance. Nothing feels better than some melon soaked in warm water. Since no one is around, Eiko starts singing in the bathhouse and Nanami joins in too. They sing the whole song with their eyes closed. When they open their eyes, they are surprised to see the crowd of women gathered around them. They were all applauding their talent, even men from the other side of the wall were praising them for their performance. Later, they sit for a meal together in a restaurant. Nanami wanted to reveal her true identity as the singer of popular girl group Azalea, who were in fact Eiko's prime competition in the 100,000 likes event. Nanami fails to reveal her identity to Eiko as she didn't want to overwhelm her. Meanwhile, Kabe returns to his hometown on a quest to rediscover his artistic identity. There, he meets Sasaki, his cholesterol friend from school, in their usual hangout place, which looked more like a hangout place for junkies. Chubbs was the one who initially introduced him to the world of rap. He tells Kabe that he is a YouTuber now. Even though he only has a few subscribers and his video gains a maximum of around 200 views, he's happy with it. Chubbs casually suggests Kabe to forge his distinct style and refrain from merely mimicking other rappers. Kabe internalizes Chubbs' wisdom and embarks on crafting his own rap lyrics. His verses resonate with his experiences of growing up in a small town and his aspirations for the future. Finally, with Nanami's help, Eiko finds her voice as they continue to sing on the streets together. She is able to perform a song in her own unique way without trying to copy the original singer. Nanami receives a phone call from Karasawa, her manager. He tells her to stop performing on the streets and stay away from Eiko. Nanami is shocked and upset, but she refuses to follow his orders. Kabe continues to attend ciphers with his old friends. He is improving and finding his voice as a rapper. He is now confident that he can face Sekitoba Kung Fu on his own. Although Eiko has found her own voice, she is still struggling to find a purpose to sing. Steve Kid is impressed by her improvement but dismisses her and tells her to come back when she finds the purpose. At this point, it almost seems like this hippie kid wants something other than her own voice from her. She goes to the Shibuya Sky observation deck with Nanami. Nanami finally confesses her true identity. She tells Eiko that she is the vocalist and bassist of the band Azalea.
No. Wait.
And shares the story of her life. She tells Eiko how she and her two friends Futaba and Ichika started their band in high school. After their first performance in school, the girls were determined to follow their passion and keep making music. They moved to Tokyo with hopes of making it big. But to their disappointment, most of their shows barely had any audience, leaving them to pay from their pockets. That's when Karasawa, a music producer from a big music label, approached them. Initially, the girls rejected his offer to manage them as he asked them to stop making the type of music that they liked. But eventually, they decided to join him as they were hardly getting anywhere on their own. Karasawa was a business-minded person and knew well what gets sold. He asks the girls to wear costumes to show off their plots and focus more on plot shaking than singing live. Surely, they tasted success soon afterwards, but the artist in them was dying. Performing on the streets in disguise was the only way Nanami kept the artist within to give up. But Karasawa was taking it away too. Nanami tells Eiko that singing with her made her realize she no longer wishes to perform Karasawa's songs. However, she is concerned about disappointing Azalea's fans. In response, Eiko informs Nanami that she is also a contender in the 100,000 Likes project. Eiko realizes that Nanami had been providing her with the courage all along, in spite of having to deal with her own problems. Eiko is touched by her story. She wanted to help her feel better. She decides to sing for her there. She puts up a great performance by singing from her heart with a purpose to make Nanami feel better. To make other people like her feel better. Nanami is touched by Eiko's gesture and tears flow down her cheek. The two girls part ways, promising to perform together someday. Kongming had been following Eiko all along and showed up after Nanami left. He praises Eiko and tells her that she has finally found her purpose to sing. Eiko receives a phone call from Steve Kid. He tells her that it's time for her to head to the recording studio. She quickly gathers her things and rushes out in a hurry. After her singing session in the soundproof booth, he approaches Eiko with a smile and announces that she's the winner. He is impressed by her recent improvement and he'll take on the job of arranging the music for her new song. As she's about to leave, he has one last question for her. He asks whether she's absolutely certain about the chosen title for the song. Apparently, the song is titled Roppongi Uronsha, which of course is a bit tacky. Karasawa gathers the members of the Azalea group and drops the news of a surprise concert. They were to perform in a surprise concert to be held on Shibuya Street a few days later. Surprisingly, it was the same day which was picked by Kongming as X Day when Eiko is supposed to enter the contest. He is planning this concert to gain the attention of people and achieve the goal of getting 100,000 likes by luring the audience with money. Nanami nods her head in agreement with a tinge of disapproval, as Karasawa wanted to gain the likes by luring the people by offering them money. Meanwhile, Kabe's rap battle with Sekitoba Kung Fu is about to start. Eiko, Kobayashi, and Kongming arrange the television in the BB Club office to watch Kabe's rap battle. As the anticipation builds, Kabe steps onto the stage, exchanging a handshake with Sekitoba Kung Fu. At the same time, Sasaki proudly watches the show on his phone alongside his friends. A hush falls over the room as everyone focuses on the intense battle between Sekitoba and Kabe. The tension escalates as they exchange rap verses and the atmosphere becomes electric. In a surprising turn of events, just before the presenter announced the winner, Sekitoba raises Kabe's hand, leaving everyone in shock. The presenter then declares Kabe as the winner and the livestream concludes as Sekitoba exits the stage, leaving the audience both stunned and intrigued by the unexpected outcome. Kongming turns to Eiko and reminds her that it's now her turn. Together with Kobayashi, they head to the recording studio. Eiko steps into the booth, puts on her headphones, and listens to the music, pleasantly surprised by how amazing the arrangement made by Steve sounds. Her excitement builds as she prepares to sing. However, just as she starts to sing, Kongming is momentarily lost in a memory from the past. He remembers meeting his master and discussing establishing peace in his kingdom. He was touched by that encounter in the past, and listening to Eiko sing brought back memories. After a brief pause, he returns to the present and both Kongming and Kobayashi enthusiastically praise Eiko for her performance. Kid, while acknowledging Eiko's talent, reminds her that there's still a long journey ahead. They all get to work dedicating to preparing for X Day and making sure Eiko's talent shines even brighter. Eiko lands on a suitable title for the song. She names the song Dreamer. The day of Azalea's surprise performance finally arrives. Kongming and others also get into action with everything well planned by the master tactician. Word has spread on the internet that during Azalea's performance, if people scan a QR code and hit the like button, 100 lucky individuals will win 1 million yen. A huge crowd has already gathered in the location trying to find the stage where Azalea would be performing. A dense fog has settled on the area that day, but in spite of the low visibility, people were desperate to find the stage. While Azalea is on their way to their performance venue, Kongming, Kabe, and Eiko huddle together to discuss the execution of their own secret plan. Meanwhile, a black truck suddenly stops in the middle of the road, catching everyone's attention. The crowd, thinking it might be Azalea, gathers around it. To their surprise, the truck transforms into a stage, revealing Eiko, Kabe Taijin, and their DJ. They start performing a famous Azalea song, but even though the crowd could notice that the song sounds different, they still enjoy the performance. Due to the low visibility because of the fog, some people were thinking it's Azalea who's performing. In a flashback, Kobayashi recalls asking Kongming about their strategy for reaching 100,000 likes. Kongming had hinted at borrowing from the enemy, setting the stage for what was about to unfold. Kongming takes advantage of this confusing situation by putting out a QR code. People start scanning the code and hitting the like button, hoping to win the prize money. They weren't realizing the fact that it wasn't Azalea on the stage. On their way to the performance location, Karasawa notices the live chat buzzing about a similar event to his own plan and sees Eiko's likes climbing to 70,000. Then, the Azalea truck arrives opposite the black stage truck and transforms into its own stage, revealing the real Azalea group. Nanami takes the microphone and begins to sing, igniting an eruption of excitement from the crowd. The fog starts to disappear too, and the crowd realized that the real Azalea group had only arrived now. People left Eiko's stage and gathered around Azalea's stage. The QR code is displayed on Azalea's stage screens, prompting the audience to scan it eagerly. Eiko's biggest fan communicates with Kongming through a headset, and Kongming unveils their new plan to counter the situation. The DJ starts playing a beat and Kabe begins to rap, casting doubts on the authenticity of the Azalea group. The crowd becomes enraged and confused, torn between believing if Azalea is truly fake or not. He criticizes Azalea for wearing masks to hide their identities and lip-syncing in their performances. In simple words, he is explaining that it's only because of their attractive plots Sims are their loyal fans. Amidst the chaos, Eiko's fan shouts to the crowd, claiming that the code is fake like the members of the group. No one will be winning the money as promised by the group. Karasawa observes their likes reaching a halt at 98,000. Standing tall on the stage, overlooking the crowd, Eiko's song Dreamer starts playing, and Kabe steps down the stage. As she begins to sing, her voice captivates the audience, and people start to gather around her stage again, leaving Azalea aside. The crowd thoroughly enjoys the song, and their admiration for Eiko grows. They began to scan their code on their own and hit the like button, showing their support. In this moment, Nanami removes her mask and, in a gesture of encouragement, urges the girls in her group to do the same. Tears well up as they follow suit, shedding their masks and embracing one another, all while Eiko continues her performance. Meanwhile, not far from the vibrant scene, Steve Kid sits inside a car. He is captivated by the performance. Steve Kid clicks the like button on Eiko's profile, which is the final like to reach the 100,000 likes milestone. I still believe Eiko's plot post would have been a better idea. In the midst of this emotional damage and transformative moment, Kongming communicates with Eiko through her headset, delivering the news that she has successfully achieved her goal. In response, Eiko expresses her heartfelt gratitude to the crowd for their unwavering support. After the crowd disperses, Nanami, Futaba, and Ichika feel it's the perfect moment to showcase their own songs, the type of music they've always wanted to make. They start playing their music and a sense of anticipation fills the air. Not many people were there to listen to them, but the people still standing there were the real fans. Fans who loved them truly. The girls felt the joy of performing live again with their respective instruments. However, their performance is interrupted when Karasawa abruptly storms onto the stage. He harshly criticizes the girls, asserting that only a small select audience appreciate their music. They won't be able to forge a successful career in the music industry without their plot display. Surprisingly, Kongming steps on the stage, interrupting Karasawa's rant. He calmly informs Karasawa that he wishes to return something he borrowed from him. At this very moment, a television screen nearby displays an astonishing sight. The girls too have amassed over 100,000 likes on their profile. A few moments later, people start to gather around Azalea's stage again, shouting for a repeat of the song they performed a while ago. The video of the song they played was running live on the internet, and it was actually loved by the audience. They loved the fresh change of performance so much that they were demanding an encore. During the surprise performance after party, Eiko discovers Kongming sitting on the rooftop. Kongming expresses his gratitude to Eiko. He reveals that he had a wish to be reborn in a world of peace, and he believes her music has united people towards that dream. Eiko, in response, shares that her own dreams are just beginning to materialize and that she still relies on Kongming. Meanwhile, Nanami and the girls reconcile with Karasawa. They come to know that Karasawa was actually a part of a rock and roll band in his early days. Like the girls, he too was passionate about the type of music he made, but his band members betrayed him, turning him into the person he is today. The girls ask him if he'd like to continue managing them, to which he agrees happily. The girls ask him to be a little more kind this time and supply them more plot cover. Kabe then calls for Eiko to perform Dreamer, prompting her to rush downstairs, where the lively celebration is taking place. Kongming follows her, eager to join the celebration and watch his master in this world perform. Well, that's a wrap folks. Catch you on the flip side of the internet in my next video.